Nintendo 64 Fun Time.
Hey guys, welcome to Nintendo 64 Fun Time. It's been a while since I've made a video. I only have a few minutes, so I decided to run down to the basement and just record a little something for you guys. I'm actually just going to do kind of my collection, rare, expensive games that I have. I know this has been done a million times. I didn't really have any ideas, but I really just wanted to get down here and make a video. Just an update, I did beat the Sword of Trials on Breath of the Wild. I took a little picture of me going up to the final shrine after I did all the 3 stages and stuff. It was great DLC. If you don't have the DLC for Breath of the Wild yet, please go download it. It is small as far as like the DLC and stuff. I haven't started the hard mode yet or anything like that, but the actual Sword of Trials fits in so well to the game. It's definitely worth it. And then the story coming out this winter, so the DLC is great. Download it if you don't have it. I definitely recommend it if you have Breath of the Wild or you're playing Breath of the Wild and stuff like that. So like I said, I'm just going to go through a few games that I have that for the Nintendo 64 that are either a little more expensive or that are, you know, a little more on the rare side. You know, just because they're rare doesn't mean they're expensive, and just because they're expensive doesn't mean they're rare. I've got a few good examples of that. So we'll kind of go through a little bit more rare games that I have on cartridge. The first one, Paper Mario. I think I want to say this one came out maybe a little bit later in the library of the Nintendo 64. And so I don't know if enough people bought it, and then now, you know, since not enough people bought it, it's just, you know, there's less copies out there. But this is such a good game, and what's great about this game is it's a Nintendo made, the people who know the Nintendo 64 the best and how to program it the best, 2D game. I guess you could consider it 2.5D, but what's good about this is because it's more of a 2D game, the graphics are still great. I mean, if you go out and play Paper Mario right now, it's absolutely great, and it's honestly one of the only more or less RPGs for this system. You know, it's kind of RPG. It's very basic. There's really no grinding or anything like that. It's kind of a straight path. Do this to get to this area, sort of thing. But it's a really good game. It's a really fun game. I definitely recommend that. But like I said, this one's maybe around like $45, you know, $50 possibly, and it might be going up in price. But now that, you know, there's repro carts out there and stuff now, these games may kind of lose their value a little bit, but this is a great game. I would definitely pick that one up if you can find it for cheap. Another one that I have, Ogre Battle 64. Again, kind of going along the RPG theme. This is kind of a tactical RPG. They're not necessarily my favorite RPGs, but I picked this one up because I love RPGs and I like that style. Ogre Battle 64 is great. I believe there was one prior to this on the SNES, maybe 2 as far as a Japan release or something like that. As far as tactical RPGs, the Shining Force games I love to play on the Genesis, so this one plays very similar to that. And the graphics on this are 3D, but they actually look very, very good. It's kind of a 3/4 view kind of game. A very good game. And I don't know if you can see that right there. That says Atlas. Any game that Atlas has ever made, it seems like for whatever reason they make a limited quantity of them. So not only is it rare because not very many people have this game, it's a little bit more rare because Atlas made it, and they just don't make very many games at all. Maybe some of their newer ones now. I believe Atlas makes like the Dark Souls series and stuff like that. They obviously make a little bit more, but as far as like their older games and stuff, for whatever reason, they just didn't make a lot of their games. So that's why this one's a little higher up there in price. I better speed up. This is taking a long time. Let's go back here. Another one. You see Atlas again. Snowboard Kids 2. Awesome game. My buddy had the first one. And when this came out, I got this right away, and it didn't sell very well, I don't think. So there's, again, a limited number of quantities of Snowboard Kids 2 out there. And then again, you have Atlas, so there just weren't very many made. So this game, I believe, is kind of around $40 too. So some of these games are kind of around their original sell value, which is great for some older games. So Snowboard Kids 2, great game, absolutely fun game to play with multiple people. So if you find this one for cheap, definitely pick this one up. Both games are great, but I believe the Snowboard Kids 2 is a little bit more rare than the original one. Another one, Harvest Moon. This cartridge is heavy. I don't know if it's because of the battery backup or the board is a little bit bigger, but if you pick up this cartridge, this has got to be one of the most heavy games cartridges for the system. I don't know why. I don't know what's in here, but Harvest Moon, absolutely great game. I don't know if you've played any of the Harvest Moon games. This game is really good. I don't know if I would say I like the SNES one better, but both games are great. This is an absolute great game to play. It's a farming simulator. If you haven't played any of the Harvest Moon games before, it sounds stupid, it sounds weird for a farming simulator, but it's actually great. It's actually very peaceful. The interactions in this game are fun. It's got a little bit of RPG elements, maybe like talking and making decisions and stuff like that, but it's different. It's not, there's not very much action. You can just kind of pop it in and you kind of get lost in this world. And the graphics on this game are very good. And Natsume makes, they don't make very many games, but the games they do make are very, very good, and most of these games still look pretty good today. Another one of the rarer games, Starcraft 64. Now, this is a little bit different game than the computer game. I didn't have this kind of in the Nintendo 64's heyday. I did play it on the PC with like Brood Wars and stuff like that, but I never got into Starcraft, like the real-time strategy. I honestly mostly played the Command and Conquer Red Alert, which was on PlayStation. And then I played Generals, which was on PC. I played the crap out of that. So as far as a real-time strategy game, never really got into StarCraft. But this is a game that I picked up for relatively cheap quite a long time ago, but this game is going up in value. Again, Blizzard, they make great quality games, and this is probably one of the best looking games on the Nintendo 64. I know there are a few games that people will say look the best of, I know a lot of people say Conker and stuff like that, but I don't know if you guys have played this in a while on the Nintendo 64, but this looks so good. It still looks good. So if you can find this one for cheap, pick it up. I can imagine that this one is going to become more rare just because it's got the Blizzard stamp on it. So now I have a few games that I'm going to try to speed this up. This is taking a lot longer than I wanted it to, but now I have a few games that aren't necessarily rare, but they are valuable because I don't know if there's a little more nostalgia to them, so people are trying to scoop them up again, and people just don't want to get rid of them because they like them. One of them, Super Smash Brothers. Great game. This is probably the game I played maybe the most of the console. Maybe Ocarina of Time a little bit more than this one, but this is a great party game. It started the Smash Brothers series. People are still seeking this one out. This probably isn't the greatest Smash Brothers game. Maybe the one for the GameCube I definitely enjoy the most. I don't know. But you can't go wrong with the Smash Brothers. This one still is quite valuable. I think this one is up to like $60-$70 now, maybe for Kart only. I don't know what the prices are nowadays. But this one, not rare, but still worth quite a bit of money. Well worth what you paid for it a while ago. The next one, Zelda, Majora's Mask. This one came out late in the system. Not very many people played it. I don't know very many people who played it. As you can see, this isn't the hologram one. I know the hologram one is probably $10-$15 more than just the normal cartridge. And I believe Majora's Mask was all gold cart, so the gold cart doesn't make it special. It's the hologram that makes him special. So this one is not the hologram one, but again, this game holds its value because not very many people bought it, and a lot of people want to kind of play it again. It having the re-release on the 3DS, I can imagine this kind of went down in price over the last handful of years now that it was re-released in HD on 3DS, but still a great game for Nintendo 64. Let's see, I'll save that one, but let's go Mario Kart 64. Again, this falls in the exact same category as Smash Brothers did. It's expensive because people still want to play it, and not very many people want to give it up. It's not a rare game, but it's expensive because people are seeking it down. As far as the racing mechanic goes, it's okay, it's Mario Kart, but I think what makes Mario Kart 64 and why people still want this game is the battle mode in Mario Kart 64, I think, is the best battle mode of any Mario Kart. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's because I played it the most, but I think the battle mechanic in this is just so good. Mario Kart 8 is great because it's such chaos online, but this was a little more precise, and I remember being in a room with 4 guys playing the battle mode and just freaking out and just having so much fun with this. So my guess is that maybe that's why this is a little more expensive, but this is probably one of my favorite Mario Karts because it's the one I played the most. But this one's still up there in price. Like I said, not rare, but people are seeking it out. Banjo Tooie. I bought this one on release. I actually got it for Christmas, kind of around where it released. And this one's kind of held its value. A lot of people played Banjo Kazooie, maybe didn't make the jump to Banjo Tooie, so this one still kind of holds its value a little bit, maybe because not a lot of people bought it. Extremely great game by Rare, platformer, really good. You may be able to pick this one up for $25-30. I don't know how much it is now, but maybe $25-30. That'd be a really great. It's definitely worth that. You get a lot of playability. Phenomenal game. I've beaten it a few times. So sometimes I still like to go through it and kind of laugh and enjoy the Banjo Tooie games, as well as Banjo and Kazooie. Another one, this is kind of surprising, you guys might have a little gripe with this, but Mario 64. Pretty much everybody had this game, and I don't know what happened to them, but this game still actually holds its value really well. Most of the Nintendo 64s on release actually came with this game. So there's a crap ton of copies out there, but I don't know what happened, but there is a little bit more of a demand for this game now. I haven't checked the price in a while, but you know, the price is still kind of up there a little bit, just because as far as 3D platforming, this was probably one of the best 3D platformers, like as they were kind of coming out at the time. It's still a great game. Sure, there were issues with the camera and there's a lot of glitches in it, but it still looks really good today. It was a release game for the Nintendo 64, but I think it had one of the best colors and graphics. You know, a lot of it was untextured and stuff like that, but the colors still look really good and vibrant today. So this is a really good game. Pick this up. Like I said, it's a little more expensive than some of the games now. I think, I don't know. Last time I checked it was, but you know, everybody should have played this game. If you don't, put it in your collection. Last game is the one that everybody wants. I don't really know why, but Conkers Bad Fur Day. I picked this one up maybe in the mid-2000s at a game store for relatively cheap. I don't know how much it was when I picked it up, but this was released very late at the Nintendo 64's lifespan. You know, Rare had the idea for Conker for quite a while. They decided to just make the game kind of as the Nintendo 64 was going out, and it's a Rare game, and it plays very similar to the Banjo Kazooie games. It's a platformer, but what makes this game so good now and why people want to play it now is because it's very adult theme. It's very vulgar. The humor is very adultish, so maybe even if you did play it as a kid, you probably didn't get some of the references, but you go back and you play it now and you definitely get them, and it's a very funny game. And like I said, probably one of the best looking games on the Nintendo 64. So this game is probably right around, $80 now. And again, I think it's just because everybody wants to keep going back to it because they didn't get a chance, when they were playing the Nintendo 64, to play it now and to enjoy it now, which as an adult you can enjoy it a lot. It is very funny. The one thing I will say about Conkers Bad Fur Day is there are repros out there. Be very careful with the label. The biggest way to tell if there's a repro is the Rare logo. So if they're printing a label, look for the Rare logo and make sure it's very detailed, very crisp. The Rare logo on all the real labels are very, very crisp. And if you're buying them online, make sure that the board is open, or the game is open, so you can take a peek at the board real quick if you're buying it on eBay, sort of thing. If you do buy it from a dealer like Lukey Games, you're getting the real deal. But just be careful with Conkers if you are going out and buying it, and you want it for your collection now, because there are repros out there. And if you are buying one for about $20 on eBay, I have seen them up on eBay. They are probably repros, and they're selling them as repros. So just be careful of that when you're buying Conkers if you're looking out for it. But yeah, those are just a handful of my games. Those are some of the ones that maybe are worth a little bit of money. I don't really have any boxes or anything like that. I'm not really a collector. I'm a player. I buy these games so I can play them and enjoy them and pop them in from time to time. So that's why none of them look beautiful, none of them are in boxes or anything, but why have something in a box if you're never going to play it? That's one thing I never really got. There are some things I like to collect, but games really aren't one of them. I like to collect them to play. So, I don't know. That's my deal with collecting, but I hope you enjoy this. I hope you saw a few games that you liked. If you want to see me play any of these games, let me know, and I'll start recording some footage. But I hope you enjoyed it. Short video. Well, it didn't turn out very short, but kind of a weird video with I'm sure you've seen a lot of that before, but that's just stuff in my collection. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, Nintendo 64 fun time. Always be gaming.